Hello, Jaime from Inky and Scrappy. Welcome back if you are one of my subscribers. If you are new here or yet to subscribe, please consider clicking that subscribe button so you can be alerted when new videos go up on the channel. Sorry for the background noise. It is super windy today. I'm thankful there isn't snow on the ground. It would definitely be blizzard season. I am stamping out all of my images on some Xpress cardstock, and I'm noticing that it's taking more than normal. So I'm going to re-ink my ink pad here, and I will show you how I do that. So this is Lawn Fawn's jet black ink, and I really saturated it good, and then I just take an old, I think this is a room card key, and kind of work that in and squeeze it out, kind of moving it around so it stamps better. I am bringing in Lawn Fawn stamp sets, or I stamped them out already, I guess. The new Beachy Christmas stamp set, the HoHoHolidays stamp set, and the Cheery Christmas. So I needed Santa, and I needed a tree, and so that Cheery Christmas tree is super easy to color and very forgiving. So I went with that one because it kind of reminds me of a palm tree. There is my color guide for the coloring today. It will be on my blog if you want that still shot there. And I will try to list the colors below it. No promises. We will see how time permits. I am including the coloring today, so if you don't want to see the coloring, you can zoom ahead, and I will put the time on the screen somewhere in here. When I do my color maps, I usually do about 3 colors on there, and it's not because I'm going to use 3 color blends on all of my coloring. It gives me a dark, medium, and a light tone. So if I do want to use all 3, but it also gives me that option to go a light and a medium, and then a medium and a light. So you can get some tonal variations in there without having to grab too many more markers or too many more colors. I could color with just one marker and be totally fine sometimes. Just doubling up or tripling up the layers on that alcohol ink will definitely give you a darker color than your one layer image. So it's an option if you don't have very many markers. I just do usually a 3 to 4 marker blend on my color maps because it gives me a little bit more variation. And if I'm putting the work into a color map, I might as well do all of the work, because I did pull some of those colors from that color map from past colors that I've done. And so it's a pretty easy to compound, to create a new one if I have the old ones there and I can pull colors that are similar. Now for the palm tree, I added some extra detail with that alcohol marker, kind of giving the bark look to it, and then of course the individual leaves on those palms. I also and it's going to cut out because my camera died and I just continued coloring. I didn't stop. So I will show you later on how I did the tree. I think I start the tree lights and it dies on me. So I ended up going in with my colorless blender, because colorless blender is really like an alcohol ink eraser. And so when I went in with that colorless blender, I went around the lights of the tree. And this way I could go in with my color and get a little bit of that color on top of the brown to sit on top a little bit better. And so it looks like the lights are glowing by going around it. So I did go outside of the line with my alcohol marker and then going back in with that colorless blender over the top to kind of lighten out that lightest color that I used on the lights. So this one was actually all inspired by that Thought Bubble die set that came in the mail the other day from Kate Craft as a thank you for my thank you. So I sent a thank you because she managed and organized the Fab 5 Lawn Fawn hop that we did last month. And so as a thank you, I sent her an extra stamp set that I bought 2 instead of 1 when I placed my order for the new stuff from Lawn Fawn this August. So she got Happy Harvest, and I guess I got the Thought Bubble in return. Thank you, Kate. You did not need to do that. So that was the whole premise behind this one. So I ended up doing a 5x7 card, cutting those base pieces with Trinity Stamps 5x7 embossed stack. They're gorgeous. They just make a gorgeous card base, like the embossed edge around the side. Yeah, it's pretty. So for my thought bubble here, I'm going in with a dye ink. This is, I think it's Breeze from Close to My Heart. And then I'm going to come in with Distress Oxide in tea dye for the sand. Now, I didn't speckle my sand. I didn't add splatter to my thought bubble. It's a thought bubble. Most of it's going to be covered up scene-wise anyways. I mean, this one's kind of a little extra on that whole, you know, 5x7 card thingy. Yeah. I did come in with some, I think that one was Faded Jeans, and then I'm bringing in some chipped sapphire here to make a nice dark night sky, and then I'll blend that back in again with some more of that Faded Jeans, and then to just darken it up a little bit, I'm going to come in with a little bit of black soot around the edges there, and that just kind of gives the illusion of a night sky without making it overly dark. I will spritz that with water and pick that up to give, you know, the illusion of snow and or just a night sky. And then I'm bringing in some Brutus Monroe Aqua Pigments in their Blue Frost. So it's like a mica powdered, or mica, but the mica has like a blue tint to it. I can't explain it, but it looks pretty. And then I'm just going to build my scene right away on my thought bubble. So it's not a very big, it's the biggest thought bubble that is in that Stitched Thought Bubble die set, but it's not so big that, you know, I have a lot of real estate. I really didn't have a lot of real estate on this one. And I think I bring up my tree to the camera at this point before I actually put it down, because I wanted to show you close up kind of what those bulbs looked like, so they kind of have that glow effect to them. And so I'm just going to lay out the rest of my scene here, kind of figuring out a visual triangle. That's kind of how I lay out things when I'm not exactly sure on placement. I usually work for the visual triangle and go from there. So I did cut a little slit in my sand so my surfboard can be tucked into the sand like it's supposed to be. I don't know if it's supposed to be or not, but that's what I see when we go to the beach. At least not here in Minnesota, but when we travel someplace that has beautiful sandy beaches, Hawaii. And so that was kind of where I was going with that one. And so Santa's taking a break from surfing and drinking his peppermint Christmas pina colada. And then I'm just going to work on my bottom scene. So the idea with this one was Santa is either on his last stop or maybe his first stop. We all know how that goes. But he's outside freezing in the cold and the snow, and he's dreaming of what he gets to do tomorrow when he's all done delivering Christmas presents. He's going to be sitting on a beach, drinking his colada, maybe doing a little bit of surfing. I'm not really sure where Mrs. Claus is, which also begs that I need to make another card with Mrs. Claus on the beach, because Mrs. Claus likes to go to the beach just as much as Santa, and around here Mrs. Claus does way more work than Santa does. Just saying. So I'm going to pop Santa up and then pop that other red little present up to kind of bring Santa forward, because it really is all about Santa in this card. And then to add a little bit of dimension to that thought bubble, but I really didn't want to pop it up on foam. I just did my second layer. Since when I cut the bubble out, I cut it out of white, and then I cut it out of yellow because I wanted the yellow around the outside kind of signifying sunnier thoughts or warmer thoughts. And so I did the yellow frame, I guess. So I had the extra white one. And then I did save room for a sentiment. So while I was building that bottom scene, I did remember I needed to figure out where to put a sentiment on this one. And being that Santa is up on the top of the card on the beach, I just thought this one, Santa was a little distracted. He was thinking about the beach. And so instead of saying Merry Christmas, he said Merry Beachy Christmas. It worked. I did use some gathered twigs for the beach word on that one, and then I brought in that rustic wilderness for my green on the Merry Christmas part. And the joy of the Misty getting to restamp if it didn't turn out the first time. It was probably good the first time, I just wanted it to be a little bolder. And then I will bring in some new embellishment mix from Crescent Creations. This one is new in the shop. I think it's called Christmas Baubles or Christmas Ornaments. But the little silver ones that I end up using on my Christmas tree here are like round, and then they have like a little top piece. So you could always sew them on something. I think that's their intended purpose, like sequences, you know, how you sew them on something. But so that top piece kind of looks like an ornament. And so I put a silver one on each one of the branches, and I'm going to speed this up super fast here because it took me about as long as it takes me to decorate the Christmas tree, to decorate the little wood paper one on my car. Yeah, I was on the struggle bus for this one. So I ended up picking out the dark blue, and then there's a light blue in this mix. So they're gems. So they have blue and dark blue, light blue, red, green. There might be some silver in there. I'm not, you know, I'm really not 100% sure. And then I brought in some Glossy Accents for the cup of milk, or the glass of milk, I guess. And then those Christmas tree lights as well. So they have a nice raised glossy look to them. And I think that does it for this card. So there's a little bit of shimmer and shine to it, but it's really all about those two scenes. And I will be back later this week with 2 more cards that were inspired by this one. So as long as this week moves smoothly and I actually get my stuff done. Fingers crossed. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you're alerted when those go up. And I will see you again later this week. Have a great one. Keep getting inky. Bye.